it comes up. Okay, so look now. I wrote down key points of the episode. Like I told y'all I would, so I won't be all over the place. But um I kind of remember what happened because it was just Wednesday and everything. Um so and then I'm on my laptop too, so I hope you let me see. I'm gonna try to turn down the volume so y'all can't hear right. Okay, so we gonna do our makeup and everything. Sorry to burn my face. So the next thing I don't want to do eyeshadow. It's not gonna have eyeshadow today. It's gonna because I'm wearing black. I'll put a little black in there, just the one color, just to do that. But it's not gonna be anything extravagant on that. Plus, I don't want this video to be really, really, really long like the last one. But hey, it takes all to do my makeup, so it is what it is. Okay. So basically, Franklin is on the floor, being shot by Melody. Melody's gone. Okay, so then the episode opens up with him thinking about everything that has transpired since he started hustling. Okay. Speaking of hustling, I want to watch The Hustle with Jennifer Lopez. I want to see that movie. So comment down below if you want to see the movie too, and I'll watch it and I can talk about what I think about it or whatever. So okay, so he's thinking about everything that has went down since he's started selling, hustling or whatever. So then it flashes to where he's in a classroom. So he's in a college class, right? So this teacher is teaching them about, different like situations in life, and if you wasn't doing this, you'll be doing that, whatever. Okay, that ain't important. Okay, so it's this white girl, all right? She's intrigued by Franklin. So she's so after class, he's walking out and she's making casual conversation with him. And he's basically like, giving her dry answers, and she's like, okay, so you like mean like this to all the people that you meet, or dry like this to everybody you meet? And he kind of like brushes her off or whatever, and he walks off. Okay, so then they end up meeting up again, and he asks her out for coffee. So then she's like, no, I'm going to meet this recruiter. He's giving a talk. You can come with. So he's like, okay, whatever. What else? So he goes and with the girl to talk to the recruiter, and the recruiter is Reed. Reed is he works for the CIA, and he's trying to recruit people like they do in college. So, people can do stuff after they get their degree. He's just like recruiting. Okay, so Franklin hears what he's saying, but ain't paying no attention for it. But okay, so then he has to go so he goes to his dorm, his room, and there's an eviction notice on it. he looks around like, what the hell? And he goes to academic affairs to see why he has an eviction notice on his door. So he meets with the uh, financial aid people or whatnot, and the band is basically telling him that the paperwork, his mom's taxes, the money that he he's supposed to have to cover his room and board and his classes is he needs documentation for, because it's an issue with them, paying for his school. So he was like, okay, I'll get the documentation, but the man is like, okay, you only have 2 days, or you're gonna have to pay it in full. And he was like, 2 days? And he was like, no, I need a little bit more time. And the guy's like, well, maybe he was like 2 days or whatever. So then he's trying to figure out, he's like, well, maybe this is not the place for you. The guy's like a a-hole. And Franklin is sitting there and he gets mad. So Franklin jumps over the desk and attacks the guy. So they end up kicking Franklin out of college. So Franklin is kicked out at this point, and he gets on the bus, and he goes home to his mom, and his mom meets him, and she gives him a hug, because he got kicked out or whatever. Okay, so he's at home, and then he goes and sees Leon. I think he goes and see Leon. Did he go see Leon first? No, he go and see the aunt and the uncle first. So he go and see the aunt and the uncle first, and the aunt is pregnant with the uncle's baby, and they're, the uncle's doing he's hustling weed or whatever. So the uncle offers for Franklin to come work with him selling weed, because he's telling me he got to make money while he's there. And they also talk about, him, why he got the issue with the loan and stuff like that. But anyway, so he was like, no, I'll figure something out. So then he say she ought to name the baby Frankisha. I think he said Frankisha. Look, you know how black folks is. Come with white folks do it too, but came up with this ghetto name for the baby, and they was laughing. So he goes and he meets Leon. So when he go and meet Leon is hustling too, but he's there and he's with LaWanda, the crackhead girl. So he's with LaWanda and they got a baby together. So LaWanda comes out the bag and she's like, you need to take your friend. She was telling Franklin, you need to get your friend and take him to school with you. He need to do something with his life, and he need to come help me with this baby. So they got a baby together, whatever. So they talk, and Franklin basically gets with him about possibly hustling with him instead of the uncle, because he don't want the mom to know what he's doing, like he didn't want her to know what he was doing the other thing. So they go outside and they're talking and everything, and this guy comes up with a video camera. Don't mind me, I'm just taking two of this because I'm gonna reuse this. But he has a camera, he's recording them, but and Leon gets mad and starts to try to snatch the camera from the guy. But Franklin was like, let him go, he's just like a lame, he not, he ain't the police or nothing like that. So they, he ended up letting the dude go, and they go with, whatever. So go on commercial and all that kind of stuff. And then I think it comes back and they're walking together down the street discussing what happened in school and blase, whatever. So before that, he also had met up with Mel, the girl. He met up with her, and he was like the same thing, he wants her to go to Spelman like she planned, even though what happened to him happened. That's not no guarantee what happened to her. So she should go ahead and do what she needs to do and go to college like she planned. Okay. So that happened. So that happened. He met up with her, they talked, that's what they were talking about, okay? So he decides to hustle with Leon and the uncle too. He decides to hustle with the uncle and Leon. So they're selling weed, hustling or whatever, and they at the uncle's house, and it's a knock on the door. Okay, it was a knock on the door. They was spooked because he was knocking all hard. It ended up being Leon or whatever. That's how I found out they hustling together. So, anywho, so excuse me. So, okay, so you little men, they go to arguing. Leon and the uncle just going back and forth arguing. I'm talking about just real deal arguing. I don't know what the hell they got going on. So, goes on commercial. Okay. So then, what happens then? Okay, so they do that. Okay, then it comes back. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so it comes back right, and then Franklin end up getting a job at the convenience store. So he gets a job at this convenience store or whatever, and this guy comes in and asks for some cereal and some flip flops. And when Franklin turns back around, the man has a gun and he's robbing the place. So Franklin is scared. He never had a gun pointed at him before. He's like giving him a little money. He's like, no, that's not all the money you got. Give me what else you got. So he go back in the register, get more money out. So he got more money out. And he was like, "You give me, matter of fact, give me what you got in your pocket." So Franklin pulls out $2, and the dude was like, $2, that's all you got? So then he grabs Franklin by the neck and puts the gun in his face, and he tells him to say that he's the man's bitch. Okay? So Franklin is scared. He's like crying, like a tear rolling down. He's like, I'm your bitch, right? So in walks Andre. Andre's the police guy. So Andre comes in, and him and the guy start shooting at each other. And he ends up shooting the guy and kills him in front of Franklin, and the blood splatters on Franklin. Franklin like cowers down behind the register, shot. So it goes on commercial, comes back. So he comes back, and Andre is calling for he called for backup or whatever, and then the people come, the forensic people come to take the body out, and Franklin's mom comes, right, and gets him, and then she comes and gives him, he tells Andre, thank you. So they walk out or whatever. So then Franklin goes home, and he's in the bathroom getting ready to take a bath. Okay, so then he goes and he lowers himself in the tub, and he takes his head, you know how you lean back and go under the water. So he goes under the water, and when he comes to, I mean, it flashes like into the present, and he's in like this tub full of ice, and he's like catching his breath and like breathing hard and everything. Okay, so he gets out the ice, and his dad comes, and fuck, I am so sorry. What happened was okay, before the flashback to the floor, I forgot about this part. Okay, don't come for me. So what happened was after the I think it was it was before the scene where he was at the store. The recruiter Reed comes to his house and meets up with Franklin, and he tells him that he wants to recruit him for the CIA because he's looked at his test scores, or his classes, or he doing real good in his classes. He's real smart. He's making all these contributions to society. All of the teachers speak highly of him. They feel like he'll be a good fit for the CIA. So then he tells, at this point, he tells them the backstory. Like, he was like, oh, it's just me and my mom, and my dad died because the police in the hands of the police. So why would he do for the government if the government never gave him anything? And so then Reed was like, yeah, they were comparing life stories or whatnot. And he was like, okay, well, if you change your mind about working for the CIA, he's like, I'm going to give you 2 weeks for you to make a decision to come work for the CIA. And then it flashes to the store scene, and then now he's in the tub of ice, and he jumps out. He's in the prison now. Okay. And so the dad comes to give him a towel or whatever, and then Franklin he survives the gunshot wounds, and he has a cane though. So the mom says she has to go out. Her and the dad has to go out, and they go and they meet up with the aunt and the uncle. So they go meet up with the aunt and the uncle. Excuse me. To let them know that I'm all over the place. Okay, so excuse me. So anyway, so she goes and meets with the aunt and the uncle, because when the uncle came home, the people who was hustling with Franklin, and the people who, it's competition when you hustling. So what it is, are they bumping heads, they shooting each other, because I guess they think that one of the people that Franklin is in competition with shot him. So they basically at war with each other. So everybody's like dying. Who's in the drug gang, and that's why the mom meets up with the uncle and the aunt, so they can figure out what they're gonna do. The mom doesn't want Franklin to go back in the game because he got shot, and everybody else is like, no, we can't just leave like that. We're in the middle of a drug war. So she's like, no, I'm not gonna put my baby out there in this. He could have died. Franklin's not doing it. They arguing at this point. So then Franklin walks in, and he basically tells them that he's gonna continue in the drug game. He's good enough. He gets around good enough, and that's that. But he said he gotta go to a meeting. So now Franklin meets up with Reed. Okay. So Reed done heard about what happened to Franklin, and he was like, it's good to see you, sight for sore eyes type situation. And they get to talking about how the city of Los Angeles back in the day was prone to flooding. And what they did was they built these dams to help with the flooding issue. And they called it they call it the City of Angels because they saved it from the flooding that was going on real bad. So basically, Franklin is talking to him, and he's saying, like, when he started the whole hustling drug gang, he didn't think about the people that were gonna be affected, like the ones that were gonna get hurt. He didn't expect it to be like, all these people, black people, people in general, are getting hooked on it to where, and then, where they having like the shootouts and people are dying, and his family is now, at risk for going to prison forever because he decided to sell dope. So he goes to Reed and he tells him, he was like, look, he basically took the offer that Reed offered him while he was thinking about his life after he got out of school. When the recruiter, he basically was like, what we gonna do is I'll help the CIA to keep bringing in the drugs, because at this point I can't undo what I did as far as like the people who's getting hurt behind it. He was like, I'll help distribute the dope as much as y'all want me to do, make as much money as y'all want me to make for the CIA, but my peoples, you can't touch them, you can't fool with them. And he holds out his hand for Reed to shake it and agree on it. And that's how the episode ended. So now the finale is Franklin is now working with the CIA, and they're gonna keep doing what they doing as long as they can't touch his family. So that is how this season 3 of Snowfall ended. And there you may have it. So I'm waiting for, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life on Sunday, on Wednesday at 10 o'clock, because I'm gonna be so used to trying to see Snowfall or whatever. So I watched Basketball Wives on Wednesday, but missed Tammy Roman, and then decided she's not filming any more episodes for Basketball Wives. And to be honest with you, I do not blame her. I really do not blame her. She got, if you guys follow her on Instagram, you know she came up with like this, her own little sitcom series thing on Instagram. It was so funny. And I think that they picked that up for her into a show. I think that's what they did. They picked that up for her and turned it into a show. Love it. Happy for her. Great. And those women, some of the women on Basketball Wives, like Evelyn, I can't stand. Well, I don't like Evelyn personally, how she and how they treated her on Basketball Wives. And so she's actually doing way better than some of them women that's been on there for a minute. Like Evelyn really doesn't have a story line on the show. And Malaysia kind of don't either, but I like Malaysia. But some stuff she do is kind of stupid, but that's neither here nor there. But, and you got Jackie Christie, you know she ain't going nowhere. And the other girls or whatever. So, yeah. So that's basically, so I'll watch that. I don't know if I want to continue to watching that, because Tammy ain't going to be on that no more. And she really was the whole reason why I kept watching it, to be honest with you. So, anywho, then you got a Black Ink Crew. I like New York. Chicago is just like, I don't know. And then they got Compton, but I ain't too big on Compton. I ain't got nothing to do with West Coast, East Coast. It's just, I'm over the whole Black Ink Crew franchises. It's just not interesting to me, the other Black Ink Crew. But and then you got the infamous or famous Power. Now, I don't review Power because Power is one of those shows, even though I know Snowfall is real good too, but Power is one of those shows to where people really don't want to hear your opinion or your commentary on the show. They really just want to watch it themselves, because even when you go on Facebook and some people have like the Stars app, they won't even log on Facebook with the fear of someone telling them, somebody telling them what happened before they got a chance to watch it. They rather see it themselves. So that's why I don't review Power. Plus, like I told y'all, I think in the last video, 50 Cent is real petty. And I don't need nobody trying to come for little old me and my little YouTube channel, because I'm telling people or what happened, blah blah blah, in the episode. So that's what we're not gonna do. So but Power, I watch that on Sundays, and then I watch like I said, I was watching Basketball Wives. I don't know if I want to do Empire either, since this is the final season of that. And to be honest with you, when it come back, I'm gonna have to watch the last episode before the last season went off, because it's been so long since it's been on the air. I don't even remember what the hell even happened or what the last episode was. So when it come back, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna have to figure out what even happened. I'm gonna do I'll smudge this color underneath my eyes. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know about doing Empire because sometimes I watch it and episodes be doing too much. And do y'all even know if they let go of Juicy Smollett? Juicy Smollett? Do y'all even know if they even let him go, if he coming back or not to Empire? I don't even know. I think they were. I don't know if they made a definite decision on that or they did. I don't know. I didn't keep up with it. But don't come for me. With my brown liner because when I do what I'm doing, you won't even see it. And it's to make the color I'm gonna put on top of it a little darker because it's not quite the color that I want it to be. So do not come for me because I did not send for you. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know if Juicy Smollett coming back to Empire if not. But I don't know. Give me some other shows to watch, and I'll review them if y'all want me to, or if we just want to talk about what's going on with it. But other than that, I did my makeup and I did my I just sprayed some. I sprayed some conditioner on this wig here, and let it air dry so it can be white.